for comparison's sake, all right, somebody got me the Red Book by Carl Jung as a gift. It is in this bag, and it is quite heavy, and here are the dated and undated United Front planners for comparison. It fills this bag. I'm going to open it. So I'm trying to do an unboxing video. I don't have a stand for my phone though. This is going to be tricky to do one-handed. I think I can, because it's only a ribbon. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, there we go. All right. And there's the book. No, tissue paper or something in there. Dump it out. On my couch here. It is plastic wrapped. Oh my gosh. This thing is like, it's like a book for giants. I'm sure the text inside isn't, but it is probably not large type for people my age. Get these books out of the way so that I have a chance in heck of even opening it. Yeah, this is like, oh my goodness, the whole length of my arm. People are like, you cannot easily read this book. This is not a readable version. Like, you can't hold it. And now what's gonna confound me is this plastic, right? Ah, there we go. So yeah, this is the Red Book, Liber Novus, by Carl Jung, edited and introduced by Sonu Shamdasani, or something along those lines. Okay. All right, we get to crack it open now. So as far as I understand, the front of the book is the plates, which are the artwork and drawings that Jung spent years doing after writing the text. Okay, so some of these pages are normal paper, cream paper. But there's going to be a lot of color plates. Wow. Okay. All right. The color plates are on, I think, uncoated stock. So it's uncoated color. Wow. Look at this. Oof. This is, wow, there's like a city back there and a boat. That's really cool. It's almost like he went medieval monk for a while. And I'm sure it's written in Swiss. Could you imagine even trying to take the photographs for this? Oh my goodness. There's a person down there. So it's like, oh wait, you know? Okay, so we suspect plural, we suspect Jung as being plural, and one of the things I'm wondering is, I mean, especially with such careful calligraphy. Are there any obvious changes in the calligraphy too? Look at this handwriting. From a time when people weren't using typewriters. At least not often anyway. This is big. So, the front of it is the reproductions of his actual notes and art. This is a big deal. Wow. And then somewhere in the back of this, here we go. Where does it start? Okay. This is the translation with an introduction in English, and it is huge. Oh, well, that page is huge. Yeah, and so then it goes into some introductory material about Jung. I wonder where it actually gets into the actual stuff in the book. The content. All right. So here, the content. Now it's talking about the content. Talking about his other papers and publications. All right. So there's this pretty chunky section just on introducing people to the works of Carl Jung. And then there we go. Liber Primus. And so this must be the translation itself. Yes. So then you have the translation. And it even mentions medieval manuscripts in a footnote here. Medieval manuscripts were numbered by folios instead of pages. The front side of the folio is the recto, the right-hand page of an open book, and the back is the verso, the left hand of an open book. In Liber Primus, Jung followed this practice. He reverted to contemporary pagination in Liber Secundus. Okay. Well, that'll be another thing to look into. Liber Secundus. What is that? Oh boy. All right. So, yeah, he's talking about souls already. So it starts with the way of what is to come, and then the first section is re-finding the soul. Interesting. And then soul and God. On the service of the soul, the desert. The sixth night, my soul leads me into the desert of my own self. I did not think that my soul is a desert, a barren, hot desert, dusty, and without drink. The journey leads through hot sand, slowly waiting, without a visible goal to hope for. How eerie is this wasteland! It seems to me that the way leads so far away from mankind. I take my way step by step, and I do not know how long my journey will last. Why is myself a desert? Have I lived too much outside of myself in men and events? Why did I avoid myself? Was I not dear to myself? But I have avoided the place of my soul. It was my thoughts after I was no longer... I was my thoughts after I was no longer events and other men. But I was not myself, confronted with my thoughts. I should also rise up above my thoughts to my own self. My journey goes there. And that is why it leads away from men and events into solitude. It is solitude. Oh, is it solitude to be with oneself? Solitude is true only when the self is a desert. Should I also make a garden out of the desert? Should I people a desolate land? Should I open the airy magic garden of the wilderness? Wow. What leads me into the desert, and what am I to do there? Is it a deception that I can no longer trust my thoughts? Only life is true, and only life leads me into the desert, truly, not my thinking, that would like to return to thoughts, to men and events, since it feels uncanny in the desert. My soul, what am I to do here? But my soul spoke to me and said, wait. I heard the cruel word. Torment belongs to the desert. Whoa. Woohoo! Okay, experiences in the desert, descent into hell in the future. Splitting of the spirit, murder of the hero. The conception of the god. Mysterium encounter. Okay, this is going to be deep. Ooh, instruction. Wow. Resolution. This is, and there's a lot of footnotes. Yeah. Oh, it includes Liber Secundus. Okay, well then I guess I don't have to worry about that. All right, good. I see. So it's kind of like part 1, part 2. This is going to be a journey in and of itself, I think. What was that? There was another break. Scrutinies. So yeah, I would recommend people at least take a look at this, get a copy from their library, but, and like look at it at the library. But I would not recommend buying it because this is humongous. And I don't have bookshelf space for things like this. This is like ridiculous. It is like wider than my bookshelves. I don't know where I'm going to put it. However, you can see my bookshelves. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So like libraries may have or be able to get a hold of this for viewing. It's not likely to be something you can borrow and bring home, but there is a reader's version, which I imagine is a much more normal size book. It's a lot of pages. It's like on thin Bible paper. I think it's like, if I remember correctly, it's 600 pages. So it's like super thin paper. This, who knows how many pages this is? I don't even know if they're properly numbered. It says it's 371, but is that 371 including the front or not? Good question, right? Let's see what the numbering is here. Yeah. Okay, that is not including the preface. What? Okay. All right, no, I think that is actually, this is like 300 some odd pages, but because it's so large and the text is so dense back here, I think when they shrink it down to a normal holdable book size, that it increased to 600 pages. Yeah, so I would suggest getting the much, much more affordable, although still not cheap. It's like, I want to say it's like $32 to $35 or something US dollars. Reader's version of this, so that you have the text at the back of the book in a readable format, and then just view the plates and look at the imagery and maybe take some spot photos to study later of any images that particularly grab you. If they allow it. They probably will, because his work is actually public domain at this point. This book was unpublished, but anyway, it was It should be public domain if it isn't, because it was written and drawn before 1920, whatever the cutoff is now for copyright. So it shouldn't be, the original work should not be copyrighted. So these plates, what's in the plates themselves, should not be copyrighted. It's tough. It's in those gray, weird areas of copyright nonsense. So you should be able to take spot photos of the art, even though the photography of the original would be copyrighted. It just gets into weirdness. But don't copyright and distribute the whole book. The whole book would definitely fall under copyright, as well as the translation, because the translation was probably done much later. But, you know, to photograph some of the images in the book probably is in the weird gray area. Yeah, wow. Big, big book. Thanks for coming. Gave you a little tour of the Red Book by Carl Jung.